Hello friends, this is the last video in the Garden Party series. If you've missed any of the videos, you can go take a look at my playlist called Create With Me. Thank you for joining me for this flip through. This is my June design team project for A Trace of Sparkle, and I have used Jenifer's beautiful kit called August Rose, and I absolutely love it. There's a beautiful mixture of pastels and rich greens and of course white, and it's just so beautifully put together. I think it's one of my favorite kits that she's ever made. I've printed out her digital kit on the back of scrapbook paper because sometimes we get double-sided scrapbook paper and sometimes we get one-sided scrapbook paper. So I like to use my one-sided scrapbook paper to print out my digitals on. In this journal, there's a combination of ephemera. Some is vintage and some is not. There's also a combination of trims. I've got some pastel trims in here. Then there's also some trim that it's like a vine, so that's a richer green, but it matches so beautifully with her kit. So I've got a nice combination, I feel like, of shades of pinks, greens, teals, all that good stuff. This journal feels shabby chic to me, but it also doesn't. So it definitely has some shabby chic elements, which I absolutely love, but it's also got some other elements, and I'm not sure even what we call them, but I don't necessarily consider them to be shabby chic. But I think the marriage of the two is working really, really nicely, and I like that. I'm the kind of creator that I like to take things that maybe don't necessarily, that somebody might not think that they belong together, but then I like to put them together, but make them work so it looks nice and cohesive. I think it lends to the element of surprise sometimes, but surprise in the most pleasing way. Oh, I have to give a shout out to Lene at Fashionably 50 something and also Sundown of Sundown's Crafty Ventures, because they're the ones who requested that I make a journal using Maggie Holmes. And so that's what I've got here. It's a combination of Jenifer's beautiful digital kit and also Maggie Holmes papers. So you're going to see some pages like this one right here where I did some stenciling because the Maggie Holmes papers were white on the back. So I went ahead and stenciled them. I personally don't like to have plain papers in my journals. Now, that's just a preference. It's no big deal if somebody has plain papers in their journals. It's perfectly fine. I just don't necessarily like to have that. Now, that's not to say that someday I won't make a journal that has lots of plain papers in it. Just right now, that's not my groove. So again, thank you so much to those ladies that requested that I do this because I hadn't really worked with Maggie Holmes before, and it was an absolute joy to create this journal using some of her papers. You can see here some trim, and I also used a flat back on the top of that, just a nice little sparkly one. I used rickrack. I've got velvet trim, like for example, on the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see some nice rich pink going down the side of that page. Well, that is velvet trim that I put on there. Oh, I also made tabs, and the tabs are made from cotton. And then I put trim on each side of the cotton tab. These are the little bead dangles that I made. I went and put them on a white background just so that you could see them. They are tied to the wax thread that sews in the signature. This is a one signature journal, and it's got 40 pages front and back, and the journal measures 7.5 inches tall and 6 inches wide. You can see that it is loaded with pockets and tags and ephemera and trim and all kinds of goodies. This spread here is one of my favorites because we've got the rich green on the left-hand side, and then we have just this beautiful serene pink on the right-hand side. We have our cotton tab and then our pink velvet and the tag book. It's not a book, it's just a tag, but it's got a pocket on top with some nice blues, but you can open it up and write in it. I just love the combination of the green, the gold, and the pink. I just think that looks super pretty. I really enjoyed putting lots of little details in this journal. Like, for example, I just pointed out that cotton tab on top, and there's a half back little shiny thing on there. And then adding the little trims to the cotton. You know, when I first put the cotton tabs on, it was cute, but they were just really plain. So I thought, well, you know, on a couple of them, I'll put some little trim pieces. And then I was like, oh my gosh, they look so good. I have to do it on every single one. So I did end up doing it on every single one. Another thing I love about this kit, do you see the button on the upper left? There was, I think 4 round buttons and 4 heart buttons in the kit, and I just loved that little detail and really enjoyed finding a spot for each one in the journal. I think the shade green is perfect and beautiful, and you know, something so simple I just found such great joy in using in this journal. You can see some of the pages are smaller than others, and I like that element inside of this journal. Here we have these mini file folders that come in the kit, and so I just put them in little pockets here on this page. You can see the trim that I put on the side there, but aren't they just so cute? And then actually the pockets that I made were from the tickets that also were in the kit. Here I created a belly band just using some of the Maggie Holmes paper, and then stuffed it with a piece of ephemera and then also a little card from the kit. I've spotted another one of those buttons there on the lower right hand side. Oh, my finger's covering. Oh, there it goes. So here I've added an envelope. Oh yeah, and I added into the envelope a piece of the cover, which was made from a big envelope. And I just thought I would go ahead and put that in there. And then whoever decides to purchase this journal, they'll have a piece of that. You could make a tag. You could make a little, like a little paper flip. There's all kinds of things you could use it for. I just thought it was a nice little thing to share. I don't know if you guys know this, but Motrin used to be a prescription medicine. So those papers that I just flipped through, that is from a vintage Motrin prescription pad from like the 1970s, I think. I think 1976 actually. Lene and Sundown sent me a bunch of ephemera that I've used in this journal, and this tag was sent along as well. So I was so thrilled to use this in the journal as well. It's absolutely gorgeous. The front and the back of this journal both have pockets. I shared how I created the cover in actually the video that went out just a few days ago. I lined the inside of it with white cotton, and then also to create the pockets I just folded up the envelope that I used, and it very simply made pockets. I am so glad that you joined me for this flip through. I hope you love it. This is listed in my Etsy shop. I will be hopping on the Junk Journal July bandwagon, so keep your eyes open for those videos. Thanks for watching. See you soon.